Hey guys. So today is not during nap time. Sorry about that. But here we are nevertheless. So today was my daughter's first day. She's in a homeschool program. We've homeschooled her exclusively the last 2 years, and this year we found a 2-day program that she started, and so today was her first day. Super fun and exciting. I was busy almost the entire time she was gone on some calls, and those were good, but took up most of my day. So I'm excited to check in with some of you guys and start talking about something that I'm super passionate about. And hey, Magali, could talk about a lot. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jessica Jacobs. I'm a Young Living Platinum, and I've been doing Young Living for a little over 3 years, the business for a little over 2 years. And I love teaching. I love leadership concepts. I love helping people not make the same mistakes that I did. And so hopefully some of this will, hey, Mom. Hopefully some of this will connect with you. So empowering versus enabling. This is, thank you, Alyssa. That's super sweet. So empowering versus enabling. This is something that, like I said, I'm super passionate about. I learned a lot about probably late in life. And this concept works in pretty much all areas of life. Teaching your kids how to, giving them tools to empower themselves versus enabling certain behaviors is a whole nother topic for not this Periscope. But this really translates a lot into this business. And this business, network marketing, can show you a ton about yourself. And there are lots and lots of areas for personal development. If you choose to commit to this business and not to quit, you will learn a lot, and you will have the opportunity to change and grow if you want to succeed. And if you find yourself stuck, one of the best things you can do is look back at yourself and see what you're doing to get in your own way. How can you change? It does sometimes hurt. I totally agree. But it really, like I said, it can translate into so many different areas of your life. So one of the things that a couple months ago we were faced with, all of a sudden, we were not able to do anything like we had done before. With changes in governmental agencies, they're not changes there. They just kind of came down on the company. And so we had to change the way we were doing things. Well, all of a sudden, a lot of the things that we had been doing and the things that we'd been saying, we weren't supposed to say anymore. Well, I saw that as, instead of enabling people, we need to teach how to empower them, how to empower themselves. As a society, and this is not, pointing fingers at anybody, but as a society, we've gotten to where instead of researching and looking up answers for ourselves, we just want to, ask our neighbor or, check a blog and, oh, okay, they said this, great, I'll do that. When really that's never how it was supposed to be. And so I think by teaching our groups, our downlines, all of those how to research for themselves, I think that not only are you going to have a group of more qualified leaders and product users, but it's way easier to stay above the wellness line, if you will, stay compliant in the way that you're talking to someone, if they know how to do their own research. And it's not their fault that they don't know how. Like I said, as a society, we're used to, hey, I have this problem. Somebody says, oh, here's your solution. And so early on in my natural journey, I started researching and, looking things up. And I looked all different places. Sometimes the places I looked was on Facebook. Sometimes it was blogs. But that wasn't exclusively where I looked. I didn't poll my friends and then, take what they said as the Bible. And so I have found that a lot of people don't know how to research. When they have an issue, they don't know where to go. If they can't ask their friend, who they think is super crunchy, for the answer, they're lost. So today I just want to give you guys a couple tips. If you are not training and teaching your downline how to research for themselves, you should, because it's really It's empowering, not only for them, but also for you, because then you don't have to be the expert. You don't have to be, the be all end all. Then if the answer you give isn't the right one, it doesn't work for them, then they're not blaming you. They're taking responsibility for their own answers. And that's one of the really great things about this. So, as a friend of mine likes to say, when you know better, you do better. So, this is something that we've moved away from giving all of the answers to our team and trying to empower them to go find their own answers. And so first thing is, when you start to research issues that you have that, maybe below the wellness line that you're not allowed to ask someone about, when you start to research, if you ever get super fearful in what you're reading, or, you start to panic, walk away. Stop. That is, research and gaining knowledge should never come from a place of fear. So if a blog you're reading is, sending you into a panic attack, walk away. Sometimes that's a really good sign that that information might not be what you need, or it might not be trustworthy. Believe it or not, this might come as a shock to you, but there might be things out there on the internet that are biased, that have an ulterior motive, that don't have your best interest at heart. And so to be able to weed through those things and find truth, and find the truth that resonates with you, is really important. So I know, shocker, right? And there are certain seasons where, some things just pop up all over the place, and it's like you can't find truth to save your life. So I believe, hey, Myra, hi. I know, hard to believe, right? Okay, say hi.
Hi.
Okay, goodbye. Do you need something?
I pretended to speak to it.
Okay, please don't do that. Goodbye. So, yeah, if it's confusing, if it's fearful, based in fear, it's pretty easy to pick up on that a lot of times. For example, if you do this, you're going to send your child into seizures. Okay, probably not something you need to spend your time reading. So that's kind of my barometer. If I start to read something and start to question everything I've done for the last 3 years, that's when I walk away and I say, you know what? I need to pray about this. I don't have peace about this. And so I follow peace a lot of times in my research. So remember that when you're looking things up. If it's challenging your thinking or telling you that you will die tomorrow if you don't change, you might need to walk away. Okay, again, challenging your thinking in a bad way, meaning all the previous research or all the things that you know to be true, your personal experiences. I've had personal experiences with oils that if I read somebody's blog and they tell me that all those things are impossible, well, I know they're not. I had, an experience that happened to me or happened to one of my family members that I saw. So just because, you have an opinion about something isn't going to change my personal experience. So that might not be where you want to get your answers from. If it challenges what you have personally experienced, don't be quick to adopt it. Personal experience is one of the best lessons, and no one can tell you that you're wrong. Whether it be with oils or with God. I know that's something, having a personal experience with those things, nobody's going to change your mind about that. They're not going to tell you that that didn't happen. They're not going to tell you that oils can't do that, or that, that God can't do that. So those are things that, again, you've got to trust, your insides, what you have experienced, what you know to be true. So those are just kind of the overarching themes when you're doing research on things. So the internet is full of opinions, all different sides of every story. Okay. You can look up the exact same thing and find two diametrically opposed sides of, pretty much anything you look up on the internet. So you are going to want to find the places that you trust. Again, and we'll talk a little bit about some things that you can look at to make sure that they're trustworthy. And I did not go to school to research. I taught school, but I taught math. So I am not, claiming to be any great scientist or researcher or anything like that. But in my journey, I've heard some really good things, come across some really good things, done a little bit of research, for my family. And so these are things that I know to be true. And so hopefully there'll be a couple nuggets that you can take away from this. The key is to find info from places you trust, and a variety of info. I never recommend reading one blog or one, scientific study and saying, all right, this is it. This is I did my research. Getting something from one place I wouldn't call that research. So also taking into consideration the risk of things. If there's a very low risk involved with trying something new, seeing how it works for you, if it's on you versus your kids, those kinds of things, I'm much more likely to try it on myself first and to see what kind of an experience I have with it, and then I might try it on my kids. So, you can talk to other people about some of their experiences and, hey, have you ever tried this or have you tried that? What did you have a good experience with it? So one of the things that I also learned from a really good friend talking about, especially in blogs, because sometimes blogs like to twist the truth a little bit. And there were a whole series of blogs that came out earlier this year. Well, not a series, but a couple of them that popped up. And they would quote scientific studies or, different, they would link to things. Well, for some reason, when you read a blog and you see a link to something, oh, well, then it must be true. They have information to back it up. But what actually happened is when you started to click on those links and go to those scientific studies, the studies didn't back up the point that the blogger was trying to make at all. And I'm not trying to diss bloggers. This was just a big issue that came up with essential oils recently. So whatever it is that you're researching, whether it's raw milk, whether it's vaccines, whatever, make sure that when they send you a link, that tries to back up their proof that, essential oils cause seizures, click on those links and see what they actually say. Oh, this was a scientific study from a 60-year-old man. That's not a child. Okay, this study does not back up what this person just said. Absolutely. Yep. I'll post the link to this because you can rewatch this on catch.me. So I'll post that. So make sure that you follow those links. See what they're actually trying to say. So here's kind of some suggestions on places to start your research. The first place that I tell people is their reference materials. So this is specifically for essential oils. Check your reference books. That's what they're for. I can't say a lot of things that other third-party materials can say. So make sure you have yourself well stocked with some really good reference materials. Okay? That's the first place that I always go to. The second place, Google. Is your Google broken? Or let me Google that for you, right? That's another place you can go. Again, you gotta be careful. You can't believe everything that you find on Google. But man, you can find so many things on Google. So a lot of times I will Google essential oils and fill in the blank with my issue, or Young Living essential oils and fill in the blank. And you will come up with tons of graphics, with, internet posts, links, all these kinds of things that you can go click on and you can start to read. I have found a number of really good information. And here's something else that I found. If I just Google essential oils and, whatever my issue is, if I find another company, another brand of oils, and I read through their stuff, what they recommend, and then I'll go find another one that's a Young Living one, and they recommend the same thing, that tells me, okay, I'm on the right track. I've found two different sources that both recommend the same, oils or the same protocol, that kind of thing. So that helps me, again, when you get more and more, hey, Rachel, more places that say the same thing, that's probably, like I said, you're on the right track. So Google is great. It really is. Hey, and it can be a really good tool when used correctly. So don't forget that. When somebody asks a question that I can't really answer compliantly or, that kind of thing, I'll say, go check your reference books and Google it. Okay. So those are two things that anyone can do. YouTube has a whole slew of things. You can still Google and check the images. There's lots and lots and lots of images still available on the World Wide Web. Even though, everybody has cleaned up their Pinterest and all of those things. They're still out there to find. Oh, good. Thanks, Rachel. So those are the places where I send people first. There you go. Ask Siri, right? She knows everything. So it would be interesting, her answer, wouldn't it? So don't forget those things. PubMed.org, that's another really good place. There are lots of scientific articles out there about essential oils. Once you get on PubMed, you can, if there are certain oils that help with the things that you're trying to address, the issues you're trying to address, you can put those in the search bar. So frankincense and whatever, or lavender and the words I'm not allowed to say. you can put those things in the search bar on PubMed, and you can find scientific studies that, back those kinds of things up. So there's a ton of reference books and different kinds of books out there. Go to the websites that carry those, Abundant Health for You and Life Science Publishing. Check those out. They have tons. Amazon is amazing. Make sure, though, if you're buying books, that they are a reputable author. There are some out there that don't have the same views that we do, and so you want to make sure that you trust the person doing it. So both of those places, Life Science Publishing and Abundant Health, both have any of those books I would highly recommend. So that is about all I have for that specific topic today. Anybody have any questions? So while I'm waiting for questions, if you want to watch the replay, obviously it's available for 24 hours, but I do have a Catch account. So it's Catch, K-A, here. I'm going to get real high tech here and write it on a piece of paper, then I'm not having to spell it all out. So this is a website that records all of the scopes, and they're available forever. So you have more than 24 hours now to watch this. So here's my Catch account, catch.me/my handle, Jess Jacobs 117. So all of my scopes are here. And my husband's scopes, if you want to follow him, he's at jjacobs117. He scopes about working out and supplements and oils for guys and all that kind of thing. And yeah, I think that's about it. So we're going to continue the enabling versus empowering series, or empowering versus enabling series, probably for the rest of the week. And if you've got scope ideas or questions, feel free to shoot those at me. And yeah, I'm going to let you guys get back to your dinner prep or whatever it is that you're prepping for right now, whether it's kids doing homework or, whatever. But thank you guys for watching, and feel free to share this. No. You're welcome, Rachel. Glad you could tune in. Allison says hi to everyone.
Bye.
Oh, bye to everyone. All right, y'all. You have an awesome evening. Don't forget, the only way to fail at this business is to quit. So don't be a quitter. Thanks,
Jordan
Alyssa.
said bye too.
Oh, Jordan says bye. Bye, guys.